So I was thinking the other day, and I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool if chickens could like breastfeed. I mean, this isn't like a thought that I have all the time where I'm like, man, I wish chickens could breastfeed so they breastfeed, or like chickens had breasts. I mean, they don't obviously because they're mammals. Like, it's not like something that I want or like I actively am fighting for. It's not a cause I believe in. It's just like, what if? I think that'd be kind of cool to see. You know, like if you had like a bunch of baby chicks and they were all like gathered around the mother chicken, they were all like pecking. I don't know, the image of chickens pecking at their mother is kind of interesting, I guess. But yeah, there's that voice in the back of my head that's been telling me about that. I'm outside today because, well, it's summer, and I realized that I haven't really been outside much this entire summer because most of my time is spent indoors drawing. And also, it's a nice day and stuff. And yeah, I just wanted to come out here. Also, no smoke detector today. There's no smoke detector because, well, I'm not in my house. I'm outside. I'm going to be moving on campus to start university probably by the end of this month. So there'll be a lot more videos because I won't be in a house with 6 people and a beeping smoke detector. I'm still not going to fix that, by the way. I don't have much I want to talk about today. I guess I could tell you guys the story of the great seahorse and how it created everything. Now, if you're a normal person like me, you've probably looked at land horses and seahorses and thought, hey, what's the correlation between those two? Because they're quite similar. They look the same. They share the same name, except there's a prefix behind one of them. And you're probably like, what's the deal with that? Why are there seahorses and why are there land horses? Well, we don't call them land horses. We just call them regular horses. So one would assume that the horses, the land horses, came first and then created the seahorses through some form of magic. I'm here to tell you that that is false. And if you believe that, then you're an idiot. This is what actually happened. So millions of years ago, sometime, long time ago, there was a great seahorse, and this great seahorse came from somewhere. I don't know. He came from somewhere. I don't know. Hey, don't ask me. I'm just the messenger, man. I wasn't there. The seahorse, the great seahorse, that is, comes from somewhere, and he's like very powerful. He's like insanely powerful, and he's like, man, I'm lonely in this ocean. And so he creates a wife for himself, and you know, they go at it. They create a bunch more seahorses. So now the ocean is populated by millions of seahorses, and these aren't like seahorses of today. These seahorses are like they can grow like that big. They can be like bigger than me. These are like huge seahorses, and now they conquer the seas, and now they rule the depths of the oceans. And you know, the seahorse, the great seahorse, he's like, man, this is all cool and all that I'm the king and we have like a thriving empire, but like I kind of want to see what's up with the land. Now the great seahorse is a very compelling character because while he's insanely powerful, the one thing is he cannot walk. He can't go on land. He can't grow legs and just walk on the land because he can't breathe there. He can occasionally pop up and like scour the land and look around, see what's going up on the surface, but he can't really walk there and interact with the land creatures. And so he's like, man, that's a shame. I really wish we could conquer the land because it's low-key kind of like a dictator, but you know, like he's a nice guy. So what he does is he creates the land horses, and that's where the land horses come in. So initially you probably thought that the horses came first and then they made the seahorses, but it's the other way around. The seahorses came first and then they invented the land horses and sent them up to the land. And so he sends up the land horses to the land, and he leaves them for like 1,000 couple years, and then he's like, yeah, I'm sure they'll do their thing. They'll conquer the land like we did, and then we'll be rulers of land and sea. And, you know, if that goes well, we might go up to the sky. Who knows? We could have had sky seahorses. We could have sky horses. Those would just be Pegasus, I guess. They'd probably look different. Seahorses don't really look all that much like horses. Would sky horses have legs? Sky horses would have 2 legs. That's what they'd have because they're like birds. They'd have 2 legs. And fishes don't have legs, which is why seahorses don't have legs. So, okay, I'm getting sidetracked. So he sends the land horses to the land, and they are there for like 1,000 years. And the great seahorse is like, man, I've left those guys for quite a while. They should have conquered the land by now. And so he goes to go check out on the land horses, see how they're doing. And when he gets up there, keep in mind it's been 1,000 years, he gets up there, and what he sees shocks him. He gets up to the surface, and the land horses have been enslaved by the humans, the land monkeys, because remember, they're sea monkeys. And in a perfect world, there would be sky monkeys, but there is not. So yeah, the land horses are now enslaved by the land monkeys, which is the humans, us, and they've taken over the land horses. And the land horses are now in servitude to the humans. They are serving as transportation, entertainment, all that jizz. And the great seahorse is like, man, fuck, this is terrible. They ruined my plan. We were supposed to conquer everywhere, but now they got conquered. And just the mere fact that his dreams can no longer be achieved causes him to go into cardiac arrest, and he dies. So now the great seahorse is dead, and everyone in the seahorse kingdom is like, damn, that's sad. And his seahorse queen, because remember, he made the seahorse queen. The seahorse queen is like, oh my God, my husband is dead. And so she grabs a piece of seaweed and hangs herself beside her husband. So now they're both dead. And all the seahorses, the millions of seahorses, are like, fuck, our queen and king are dead. What do we do? And they're all lost. And so they eventually just all starve themselves. Like, I think the monks do that, or some Japanese tradition does that. I don't know. They starve themselves, and they create this like big ass burial ground around like the shoreline. They make this big ass burial ground with all the seahorses, and it's just millions and millions of seahorses just laid out there, and they all starve themselves. So all the seahorses die together, and their bodies, their like corpses, coagulates after like a few million years, and that creates the Great Barrier Reef that we have today. So you see, this is all rooted in fact, because you can go to the Great Barrier Reef and it looks like seahorses that have been there for millions of years. And so now all the seahorses are dead, but you're probably wondering, if those seahorses are dead, why do we have seahorses now? Well, I'm going to tell you, because out from the carcasses, like the Great Barrier Reef, like the corpses, they all like mold together, and then it pops out a bunch of tiny seahorses. So like that's why we have tiny seahorses today, because keep in mind, the seahorses are back then were like this big, and now we got these guys who are like this big, because they're all like descendant seahorses. So we're like in the second gen seahorses, and you know, maybe in the future they'll evolve again, and we'll get like a gen 3 or something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. I still think the sky horses would be kind of dope if we ever did get that. I might draw a concept for that. That's a $1 billion idea, man. Whoever's up there should be listening to this shit. Like, so we'd have land horses, and those guys have 4 legs. Then we'd have seahorses, and those guys have no legs because fishes don't have legs. And then we've had sky horses, and those guys have 2 legs because birds have 2 legs. Imagine a horse with 2 legs, but it's still a horse. But then the question is, no, they would have wings. They fly, yeah. So they'd had 2 wings, and then they'd have 2 legs. Man, that's a dope idea. Oh my God. Even the sky monkeys too. I mean, Wizard of Oz kind of dabbled into that in like whenever that movie was made. I don't know. Yeah, that was a pretty cool concept. But yeah, story time's over. But I don't know if this video is over, because I still got to walk all the way home, because truth be told, I'm far from home. I'm quite far from home. Yeah. I don't know where I walked to. I walked to somewhere, but yeah, I guess we'll see.